That was another awesome Monday right here at the Teegarden Historical Society. Of course, we're open every Monday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come on down here to 4205 and a half McCracken Road, Teegarden, Ohio, 44460, the History Cabin. Of course, this week we had all kinds of new faces come out, all kinds of awesome experiences, people talking history, people making donations. But if you couldn't make it today, let's run through some of the items we had on display this week. All right, let's start with the Revamping History collection. All kinds of awesome stuff here about Teegarden. We'll start with our Columbiana County history books. These were given to us a few years ago by Gene Krotke down at the Lisbon Historical Society. All kinds of awesome information about Columbiana County, Ohio. And of course within there, all kinds of stuff about the origins of the Teegarden area. And a super awesome book right here, Descendants of Abraham Teegarden. If anybody wants to do research on the Teegarden family, this is a great resource. Come on down here to the Teegarden Historical Society, check this book out, or find this maybe online somewhere. Of course, an awesome postcard right here. We love to collect postcards, but this one's super cool. Of course, earlier today we had some folks that were relatives of some of the people that were talking on this postcard here. Miss Annalise right there. Of course, this was a relative of some people that stopped out earlier today. Again, super cool. We appreciate everybody watching all of our videos, all of our social media sites. Keep an eye on all these sites. We're gonna make posts every day about something. Of course, if there's anything you want to see, want to hear about, leave comments below. Let us know what you think about this. All right, our second table there is some of these more recent donations made right here to the Teegarden Historical Society. Again, thanks so much to everybody who's been supporting the Historical Society, making donations, coming out here on Mondays, watching our social media sites. We can't say thanks enough. Of course, let's check some of these items out right here. All right, let's check out some items here donated by Joyce Davis on behalf of the Davis Mancuso family. We've got a bonnet right there and a hat there from the Latonia Centennial. Of course, if anybody knows more information about this kind of stuff, leave comments below. If you want to see more about these items, just stop out here any Monday. Of course, the award here also for the Prettiest Dress Award. And on the wall, right here to the right, we have the prettiest dress right there. Again, if somebody wants to see this piece, come on down here to the Historical Society. You can get a better look at it. Of course, videos don't always do these things justice. All right, let's continue on with our donations. Of course, a donation we just received earlier today, an awesome book right here from Barb Greiser, The History of Salem, Ohio. Super awesome, all kinds of information within this book. Even within the book, there is some information there about some of the Teegardens. So of course, we're not too far from Salem, Ohio from here. So yeah, thanks again, Barb. We appreciate the awesome donation right there. Thanks so much for the support. Hope to see you again sometime. Okay, let's see what else we got. And another awesome donation we got today was from Regina Cole. Thanks a lot for stopping out today. The Highland School right there. She has a really close connection to that Highland School. So awesome story right here. If somebody wants to read this story, stop on out here at the Historical Society. We have a copy of it right here. Super cool. Thanks so much again for the donations. Some more donations, of course, here from Michelle Dominguez. Super cool. She's been one of our biggest supporters of this whole Historical Society. Of course, the Houston family donated that picture right there of SB Teegarden. Even within the book here that we have, the Salem, Ohio book, it makes reference to SB Teegarden right there. So a little bit of connection right there. So it's super awesome. We're actually adding to this Teegarden story every time somebody makes one of these kind of donations. Again, thanks so much for watching. Let's keep looking around here. Again, if you can't ever make it out to the Teegarden Historical Society, just keep an eye on all of our social media sites. And of course, one of our most important collections we have here at the Teegarden Historical Society is the Betty Bailey collection, donated by the Bailey family. This is a huge collection. This right here is just a small sample of everything that came with that collection. Tons of information, tons of pictures. Of course, Betty Bailey was one of the main reasons the Teegarden Bridge is even there today. The original plans was to tear this bridge down, and she saw what was happening, and she helped raise funds. Along with some other people, they helped her out. And of course, the bridge is here today, one of the biggest tourist attractions right here in Salem Township in Columbiana County. Some more artwork there, super cool. This all came with the Betty Bailey collection. Anybody wants to see some of this stuff, just stop out any Monday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can see these items up close. Again, these videos don't necessarily do these things justice. Again, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Anyone has any suggestions, leave comments below. Again, if you can't come out here every Monday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., then keep an eye on all of our social media sites. All right, we appreciate all the support, everybody. Have an awesome day.